Hello guys and welcome to Base Watches. As watch aficionados, you often seek timepieces that not only provide precision, but also exude a sense of adventure. Dive watches are the perfect embodiment of that spirit, designed with unidirectional rotating bezels, screw-down crowns, and water resistance capabilities to withstand the depths of the sea while maintaining impeccable timekeeping. For those who don't mind indulging in luxury watches, here are 5 of the best dive watches to buy. The Halios Fairwind is a highly regarded dive watch known for its sleek and functional design. Halios is an independent Canadian watch brand that has gained a reputation for producing well-crafted timepieces, and the Fairwind is a prime example of their commitment to quality. And now, onto the watch. This is an aggressive case. At 38mm, it's not large. In fact, the size is near perfect for my wrist. Rather, the aggression comes from the angularity of the lugs, both in their transition from the case and their edge finishing. In a word, the whole case could be described as sharp, and if I had a second word, I'd go with precise. The surfaces are flat, even at the chamfers, giving an origami-like quality to the geometry. This Fairwind is equipped with the bathyal blue dial and sapphire dive bezel. I'm no diver, but in my experience, dive bezels usually have the first 15 minutes marked off and only turn one direction, neither of which are present here. A bidirectional suits my needs just fine, however, and while some minute hashes would likely be useful from time to time, I'll take the slight inconvenience in favor of the cleaner aesthetic. The Fairwind is offered on a 3-link, brushed steel bracelet, and like the case, it's a study in clean, angular design. Each link is chamfered at its end, creating mobility between the sections and catching a lot of light in the process. As an admittedly biased reviewer, I feel that the Fairwind does a top job at living up to the lofty reputation that Halios has created for itself. The Steinhart Ocean Vintage Military is a popular and well-regarded diver's watch known for its vintage-inspired design and robust build quality. And now, onto the watch. The case of the OVM is stainless steel with a brushed finish on the top surface and polished sides. It measures 42mm without the crown, 50mm lug to lug, and has a 22mm lug width. This makes the OVM larger and bulkier than a true sub, but it still sits in that very comfortable medium-sized watch range. The classically shaped case has slab sides and a fairly flat profile. The most predominant formal feature of the case are the large triangular lugs and crown guard, but neither really draw too much attention. The case design is ultimately very functional and leaves the visual weight of the watch to the bezel and dial. The watch has a solid steel screw-down caseback with small lettering etched around its perimeter with various details. In the center of the caseback is a large and amusing etching of either a Trojan soldier or more likely Neptune with a trident riding in a chariot pulled by a giant seahorse. The etching is just a silhouette, but it's a nice touch. You are getting a terrifically built watch with an ETA 2824 to 225 joules automatic movement, a domed sapphire crystal with double AR internal coating, a good quality oyster-style steel bracelet, and generally superb finishing all around. In conclusion, the Steinhart Ocean Vintage Military is a compelling choice for those who appreciate vintage aesthetics, robust dive watch capabilities, and value for money. More often than not, if you ask a watch collector what the catalyst for their watch obsession was, it was an entry-level Seiko diver. I won't rehash what has been reported countless times before, but most agree that the charm and value for money can't be understated. Seiko's divers tend to be on the chunky side, but for the 62 MAS, Seiko kept the case diameter to a restrained 40.5mm. The size is slightly larger than the original, but is right in the sweet spot for this more grown-up and modern diver. In addition to being more comfortable, it makes the watch more versatile. It's a watch that you could wear to a business meeting on the bracelet, and then throw on a rubber strap and take it to the gym. As Seikos tend to do, the SBDC 101 wears very well. The curved lugs and contoured case shape make it very comfortable. Its 13.2mm thickness is also respectable for a 200mm diver. Polished chamfers also mean that the bushed sides of the case band reduce the visual thickness of the watch. Luckily, to keep up with the price increases, Seiko has been slowly upgrading its movements. Moving from the 7S series and the original monsters, the 4R series of movements added hacking and hand winding. The 6R15 then added a Sprawn hairspring and other upgrades, increasing power reserve from 40 to 55 hours and improving the accuracy. In conclusion, the Seiko Prospex SPB143 is a capable and attractive dive watch that offers a balanced design, high water resistance, reliable movement, and a variety of strap options. Bulova kicks off the reissued Devil Diver collection with a limited edition of 666 pieces with a 41mm orange version featuring the Swiss Salida movement. This version was followed up with a number of less expensive colors, including this version we have today. The movements have been downgraded to the Miyota 8 series, while the cases have been enlarged in size to 44mm. Although I would have preferred this version to follow the smaller case format. At 44mm wide it feels smaller than you'd think. The bezel is set well within the edge of the case, and the lugs are very compact. Therefore, it will not burden smaller wrists. Plus, it has a lot of personality. If you're looking for the fun of Doxa or Synchron Military, but don't want to spend 4 figures, this Bulova game is a good alternative. The case shape is very similar, and uses quite a few of its own unique touches. Besides the colors, one of the main attractions of Devil Diver is the clearly implemented 3D indicators. These sit on metal stands, add depth to the disc, and make viewing from an angle really enjoyable. Despite being an entry-level movement, the Miyota 821D in the non-LE Devil Divers category looks decent. The lack of hacking and a slower stroke rate are what you'd probably get in a vintage diver, plus it helps keep the overall cost low. It offers manual winding and speed dating. The Bulova Devil Diver Oceanographer is a compelling alternative to similarly priced Seikos. The 2019 reissue is called the Sub 200, which, as is often the case with Doxa nomenclature, tells you it has a water resistance rating of 200 meters. It measures 42mm across, but its lug-to-lug of only 46mm means it wears a lot smaller. The thickness of 13.8mm is really not as bad as it sounds. Much of it is down to the bauxite sapphire crystal and the protruding caseback, which nestles into the wrist. I would say this wears like a rather elegant 40mm diver. This is one of those watches that is quite poorly represented by its cold numbers. My Sub 200 is powered by an ETA 2824-2 automatic movement. I assume Doxa has now switched to a drop-in equivalent, like a Salida SW200-1. The specs list a Swiss 480 caliber with a 38-hour power reserve. We have a date at 3 o'clock, executed in white to match the white loom of the indices. The Sub 200 is fitted with a sapphire bezel inlay with markings matched to the dial color. It is indeed loomed, but extremely faintly. You can have your pick from 7 colors for the dial, which is executed in a nicely textured matte finish. Mine is very obviously yellow, which Doxa refers to as Divingstar. The watch comes on either a very supple beads of rice bracelet or a color-matching FKM rubber strap. The bracelet is another big plus for me. The beads of rice look suits the style of the watch so well. It is also easily one of the most comfortable bracelets I have ever worn. In conclusion, the Doxa Sub 200 is a classic dive watch that combines a distinctive design with functionality and reliability. If you guys like this video or this video helped you, please give the video a like. Links to all the products mentioned are in the description below. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Till next time, I will see you guys later.